they'll lynch you. But he did, and he laughs at
On the West Ham Network. Hope you're all safe and well. Happy Friday. Well done. Another Friday has been, well, another Friday, another week has almost finished. You know what I mean? Congratulations. Well done. And we are hurtling down to the weekend. It's a stifling hot one in Hornchurch today. It's about 30 odd degrees. Unbelievable, Jeff. Unbelievable scenes. So I'm staying in the Budden Bunker. Nice and cool in here. Anyway, it's not Hammers Headlines. That's later on, isn't it? Yeah, that's later on, Ross. I don't know what day of the week it is. It is Friday, though. What's that on my shoulder? A bit of fluff. Hope you're all safe and well. Yesterday, myself and Holly did a live yesterday, just having a bit of a chat, really. A bit of a sort of Thursday night chat about obviously back to school in terms of the players, or the non-international players were back, and obviously Paul Nevin's left. And as always, transfer rumours are relentless. We're over, I think, with today's batch, I think we're over 105 players. It might be 106 players we've been linked with so far this transfer window. So let's have a quick look. Let's see in the chat. We'll talk about Dybala at the end. So we'll go through all those in a minute. Morning, Pete. Afternoon. Hope you're well. Looks like a fair few of the youngsters will be off to Oz at this rate. I totally agree. In terms of the guys going to Australia, it will be the non-international players and the academy. That's basically, that's what we've been led to believe. The likes of that was why there was no rush to sell Declan Rice, because in terms of pre-season, because he wasn't due to, and none of the internationals were due to report back until after the Australian trip, I believe. So, which is probably part of the reason why Moyes signed it off, in that, most of the first team won't be going to it. But there we go. He's linked, and we'll meet with Moyes, and then you can make your own mind up. Spot on, Vinay. Chat to Moyes, and you'll catch up on your sleep. The lack of coaches worries me. Is Moyes going to be the next to leave? Was Tim Steiner behind these plans? Did he consult with Moyes, etc.? Who knows? And is it true what Gonzo said, that nobody wants to work with Moyes? Well, I can, if I'm not into like looking within, looking out, and I'm out looking in. I mean, look at the fact that he's, you can say that, you could say the same argument with someone like Arsenal, for example. I mean, Arteta yesterday, Steve Round went, who potentially could be coming to West Ham. But he left by mutual consent yesterday. Now, coaches have ambition. We know that Paul Nevin wants to maybe go into management as well, and maybe he sees, going to Strasbourg with Vieira as a good option in terms of his career. I would agree. I think it'd be a good option. Otherwise, he's the man. He's known at West Ham as the man with the earpiece, isn't it? Really. Go back, Alan Irvine. He left because of family reasons. Craig Dawson did the same. So I don't, and technically he still helps with the club in terms of consultancy basis from northern teams particularly. So he still maintains so he's still working with Moyes. Piercy, I think Piercy was a vanity project, in all honesty. Bardacats didn't do much. So it was almost like he was there as a name. And then Mark Warburton was never going to be a long-term appointment. And so he was born to try and do something that works, and it didn't work. So he then wanting to go back into management. So I think I can see some, people say smoke without fire. I think sometimes we already see the worst in the decisions and worse than things already. So I agree with some points. Some points I don't agree with. But I think it's the same as everyone, really. Everyone's without their own opinion. I just want to work with Moyes. Any truth in the Alan Scott's going around? Well, you saw what Nick said at Claret and Booze. We had a similar story. In terms of similar news come through to us. But you always look at it. Well, did that information come in after they've read it? Did this one? So you don't know necessarily. Only time will tell. I mean, Alex Scott thing does give me Lewis Potter, Keane Lewis Potter. Do you remember last year? Or Lewis Potter, whatever his name is, from Hull. We were going to buy him. We were going to get him. We're definitely going to get him. And he goes to Brentford. And Alex Scott gives me those same types of vibes now, unfortunately. And then the Harvey Barnes thing. Harvey Barnes thing, was he, if he goes to Newcastle, I think as a fan base, we'd like him, but is he on their list? We don't know. We don't know. As I said, we've been linked to 106 players, so far. We are not inquired about all 106. I reckon 95% of that is paper talk, if not 98%. Anyway, who will we get? We'll go through and talk about a few more in a minute. What's that email saying? No, it's all right. Really hot in Essex. Well, I'm in Essex. I'm in Hornchurch. There we go. More chance of Bobby Barnes coming out of retirement than signing Harvey Barnes. According to Gonzo, I believe that Moyes scuppered the deal. Again, we don't. The trouble is, we just don't know, do we? The thing is, and it's, we didn't want leaks, and we don't get leaks. And so I think people are clucking for information. People are looking and people are talking, and someone's heard a text and someone's phone, and a lot of it's Chinese whispers. There's no doubt that, there's going to be friction. There's going to be friction, in terms of transfer targets. Not everyone's going to be wanted by everyone internally. And I think we'll just have to wait and see. I think we can't until, unless Alex Scott's dad comes out and says exactly how it is. It's all hearsay, isn't it? And because we haven't got any transfers, we're all just like hanging on every word. And unfortunately, that's the same. That's social media. It's the same as every club is the same. Come on, guys, 30 degrees is cool here. Oh, shut up, John. Shut up, mate. I've just come back. I mean, it's crazy to think. Beginning of the month, I was in Dubai and it's 45 degrees. Crazy. I'd sit on the bench and Moyes £3,000 a week. Yeah, me too. What do you think about this disconnect between FFP and Europe? Seems to be all disadvantaged being in Europe. Yes, it is. I mean, FFP in the Premier League is twice the what it is in Europe, but then we get a lot more money because we're in Europe. So one hand give, the other take away. You've had more coaches out than players sold so far, or players in. Everyone is linked, but no action. Looks like another whitewash in the cricket. It does. We were obviously we did well to get to a point of batting Australia out, and some really quick wickets, and we'll see. I mean, I think we were at we're on 120 odd for 5. I think they were on 80 something for 4, and then that 5th wicket was about 200 and something. Anyway, wants to leave because of the weather. Watson left because he didn't want to ruin that, according to Gonzo. Well, that's what he said. He said he didn't want. That was one of the points he said. Other points with that interview was saying that actually, he wants to go into management again, and so. I thought it was always going to be, to me, it always looked like a short-term appointment. And so, again, I think we're, if you want, and again, listen to it, Jer did it on Hammer's chat, really great interview. But the whole thing, you can take clips of it out, but the whole thing went across. It seemed an amicable decision. And yeah, he said, but there were friction, but of course there's friction. He comes from a different mindset than Moyes, so naturally they're going to be batting off one another. So again, we look at things, we're in the social media TikTok era. We look at things in 20, 30-second bites rather than the whole thing. So, yeah, I know what you mean. Looks like the Lemmings are jumping. Maybe never went to Strasbourg to work with someone they could actually listen to him. Or possibly because he's probably got more chance of getting into management via that way than coming through West Ham. Love the mate, I've had this for ages. I actually bought a claret watch strap and a blue one, and then just half and half. Leaks will be on the menu. Leaks will be the first 11. It will be in a minute. My number one sign of the summer: a head coach or manager. Wow. I heard that Moyes sabotaged the deal. Turns out the same with Onana. Ridiculous. He's interim. The Onana deal, and again, Trinity. I think there's a difference. I think what's and again, if you listen to the words and you can interpret the words differently as you want, apparently in the Onana deal and with the Scott deal, they both asked for first team assurances. And Moyes said, you got to work for your opportunities. No one walks into the side, you work for your opportunities. And if you play well, if you take your opportunities, you're in the side. What's wrong with that? But the thing is, we've always come into this, but we come into it from a Moyes. So actually, I think, that I don't want anyone to think they're going to walk into the first team. I want people to fight for their place. And if Onana wasn't prepared to, and Frank Lampard bottled it and let him say, yeah, you're first team starter, then and offered him the money for that reason, then more poor for them. Do you know what I mean? Because actually he's come in and it shows it because they're not being funny. Deitch doesn't rate him and he wants to go. So there we go. No one believes me when I say we can't sign anyone until we have been saying that for a while, Matt. New contracts, Oggy, time to name the club. Jurassic Park. I know our sister, well, she did, but it's part of both, wasn't it? Like the bloody Okie. Some reports come back and wants to stay, and others saying he wants to go. All that matters is the club don't want to sell him. Don't. The club don't want him to go on loan. That's the party line. If an offer comes in from an Italian club who they got fuck all money anyway for 35 million pounds, it would be considered. But I'm sure Skamaka would probably want to go home. Probably would do. But that's all that matters. Oi, happy, I hope you're well. Duke's in the chat. Oldest squad next year again. Indeed. Well, nothing's going to happen at Mike, innit? Particularly when you've got 3 of the oldest players and we've signed them to new contracts. And people are thinking it's a good idea. And part of me thinks it's a good idea because it means we don't have to worry so much about the centre-back and defensive issues. It's more about midfield and forwards this season. The next summer, it would be about the defence and improving that. But my flip side is we've got 2 players and maybe we could have had Casey come up, Louise Al could have come up and been the 4th one, centre back instead of Oggy, and someone like Ollie Scarles will go out, so it's a bit tricky. It's 50, it's all, I'm on the fence with at the moment. It's ridiculous. I'm seriously getting worried. I did a show today about getting worried. It's 30 plus a day, hate Spain. It's too hot. Moyes thinks he can stay. He can do or say what he wants now after winning the cup. Pete, he's out of contract at the end of the summer, so in the day his severance package will be a lot less if he's sacked than Tim Steinden's, because Tim Steinden's just signed a new contract. So actually you think he towed the line a bit, to be honest, to be perfectly honest, or maybe he wants to be sacked, and then maybe, or I don't know, you just don't know. Rice walks into any Premier League team. Now you can't see Arteta saying, sorry, Dick, you have to earn the right to play. Slightly different, Matt. Slightly different. You wouldn't say, Onana was 21. Alex Scott is 19, 20. It's different from them buying someone like Lucas Paqueta. And I think we get a bit, would rather have all the money from Rice strapping to him. It's never going to happen, Ryan. No deal in the world that happens. Can't stand another season like this we've just had. We've got enough bottle to get rid of. Haven't we got enough bottle to get rid of Moyes? We'll see. Smaller squad than what we struggled with last season. Small backroom currently, and we're in a bigger European Cup. The flip side is we actually did very well with a small squad when we was in Europa League last time. And actually, I think some of the issues from last year was the fact was maybe we had a too big a squad. And actually, it seems ridiculous, but having 2 separate sides, you lost any momentum, really, because if the side that played on Thursday, they knew full well they weren't going to play on the Sunday, so they'd play really well, we'd win, and the Sunday squad hadn't played for a week, and anyway, Moyes has a big head, and ever because he's won a trophy, and so what? We're just about to be solved. So he's a successful season. Should not be dictating anything. He should be a figurehead. Management is about that. Management. He's good at the negative, but no positive for the team. Even the head chef has jumped ship to Spurs. 31 for 6 now. Need left back, centre back, strike. Left back. I think we could probably get away with this summer. I think with centre back, no, I think we're okay, but we could do with another really good one, I think. Priority is midfielders, I'd say 2. Striker possibly with Mikel Antonio maybe leaving. We'll talk about that Hammers headlines, and then go look at the defensive side. Why would they let Moyes have the final say as he's leaving, and is he showing the door? It does not make sense. Well, because if he doesn't have the final say, he's not going to play him. More Friday Mondays are first. Souček and Downs in midfield. Not Souček. He's not back yet. Downs probably. They will give Moyes 10 games mid-November. The odds for the first, not yet. Galatasaray, I will talk about that. No, I don't know. You have to wait to Hammers headlines. No one is guaranteed to start, but you have to give new players a feeling that if they apply themselves, they'll be used. And that's what he said. That's what Moyes said in that meeting. He said exactly that. We don't give out, when you get opportunities, you have to take them, but you have to work for them. Makes sense. Stupid let Lanzini go. Okay, happy Rick. Give me pie mash any day, a Thai green curry. Trust you are well, Darren. Nice to see you in Thailand. Hope you're well, my friend. Can see a few more players leaving before window shuts. We talk about Mikel Antonio at this afternoon with the Hammers headlines. You've got Flynn Downs, who I think Southampton are pushing heavily for, and I think we need to utilise that. And not for me, not even for JWP, for Lavia or Kochap or Livramento, not JWP. But obviously they see him as a replacement for JWP, so that's why they're pushing hard for him. And I think, to be honest, Verto says he must give him a chance to prove himself for at least half a dozen consecutive games. The trouble is, it's not. That's not the case. The thing is, he's 24 now, or 23. He's gonna be 24 soon, and I think I think there's a lot of sentiment towards him because he's a West Ham fan as well, and I think he's a great squad player. But I don't see him as a first team first team starter. I just don't, and so it's difficult. It's difficult. What do you mean? Just one from we were buzzing how the mood has changed. That's what I was saying to Holiday yesterday. Absolutely crazy. Practicing with Downs and Fornals midfield, then great for the training formations ahead of the Premier League starting. That's the trouble. You don't have anyone back until the start of the season. Marshall and Balm up top it is then. Yeah, ain't bad though. I think Marshall will do a fantastic job. Right, let's do some transfers. Let's do some rumours. Let's add them to the pot. Let's start with midfields. Come on, let's get through these. Let's talk about Pablo Maya. Apparently West Ham have made contact to sign the Sao Paulo youngster, according to football journalist Jorge Nicola. West Ham have made a call to the agents about a potential summer transfer move to the London Stadium. We were hotly strict. We've been strongly linked with a move for him, the 21-year-old Brazilian international, for a bit of a time now. And apparently, it reckons we've had initial contact with the midfielder, about 9.5 million. Sao Paulo allegedly wants. I think it's quite good value. He's a great talent. He's a defensive midfielder. He's 21, tenacious, stamina, energy. He's a dynamic player. Very good technically as well, as you'd expect from a Brazilian. And obviously he would have, his compatriot next to him, maybe in terms of Paqueta. 9.5. I don't think it's a bad deal. Obviously, we put a bid in for. We bought obviously Luis Al, his former teammate last window. So Russie B has given it a 6 out of 10. I can see legs with these ones. Anyway, let's have a look at some comments. What we got here? Can see Ings going to Burnley. Maybe we'll see. Why did Neves leave? What are you talking about? Nevin leave. He left to pursue opportunities outside the Premier League, which we are believed to be the league outside Strasbourg with Patrick Vieira. Moyes can turn a birthday party into a funeral. Wish he could. Wish he would go. I'm actually looking forward to seeing Souček back. Agree with Russ. If Downs is going, I'd rather get someone younger than JWP. Thank you very much. What about his front? Oh, yeah, we're talking. So Russ done a great. Is miles better than Vito? The trouble is, you might agree, we may agree, but the man in the dugout doesn't agree. So there's nothing we can do. So actually, I'd rather him not sit on the bench where he could be playing first team football, but Southampton get promoted to be like a Josh Cullen. Do you know what I mean? That's what I mean. We sign youngsters and do not use them. That's the idea. As long as he can do it in the Premier League, then sign him up. Hair transplant shouldn't hit the ball for 3 months. Well, I think it's 3 months. I don't think he can. We can't shower for 6 weeks or something like that. It's the only point being linked with anyone if they're going to be put off by Moyes. Staff continue leaving says it all. But again, I just think sometimes we always paint the bad picture first on top, regardless of what's been said. But I think, that's what I say. The Alex Scott thing, there may well have been a meeting. Moyes may well have said, about, it being realistic in terms of his first team chances, and words It's like an email. Someone sends me an email and I get pissed off. Actually, I could reread that email 4 times, and you get a different intonation. I'm just trying to put some light to all the shade. That's what I'm trying to do. So doom and gloom. Will the centre half go to Oz? Louisa, I might do. It may do. Hard to compete with Villa and Brighton these days. You're totally right. Sounds and seems like it's going to be another relegation fight on our hands. Disgraceful, says Harry. Maybe we should have got relegated and then reset. No. Let's talk about someone else. Let's talk about another midfielder. Let's talk about the Marseille midfielder, Matteo Condozzi. Apparently, we are leading the race alongside Aston Villa. So, how are you leading the race with another side? Apparently, according to a report in La Provence, us and Villa are the hottest leads in the race to sign him this window. A recent report claimed that the East London outfit were especially keen on the 24-year-old ex-Arsenal midfielder and reckon we could sign him in the summer transfer window. Obviously, we know he's not the player that left Arsenal. He's a lot more mature, good energy, athleticism, stamina. Mercato recently claimed that Marseille went around £26 million, about 30 million euros for him. He's 24, seems good value to me. Russie B has rated him as a 7 out of 10. The reason I've rated him more is we know people like David Moyes likes Premier League ready players or Premier League experienced players, and he obviously played in the Premier League with Arsenal, and I think he could do a very good job for us. What we got here, it's the Moyes brigade. The ones who said we'll get relegation and won't win Euro, doom and gloom. You are our only bright light now, Russ. Keep on shining. Well, I just try to, because I think it's about a bit of light and shade. And if we're all, I put a shout out today being very worried, and I am worried. But actually, sometimes when I look at things in isolation and don't look at them with a preconceived view, sometimes you get another outcome. And actually, there's nothing wrong with getting that outcome. People who are one way or the other, there's no right or wrong reason. If you're a Moyes in or Moyes out, you are what you are. And they're going to get, I try and do a balance. I can see both sides of the argument, definitely. And I can see how someone may assume that, that the meeting with Alex Scott, apparently that he's kiboshed it all because of the way he spoke. But then again, if he said it if those words are read out in a different way rather than an angry way, then actually I think that's quite a sensible thing to do. For a youngster, you don't want him to be a big time Charlie. You don't want to come in and think he's going to walk into the first team. You want him to take his opportunities. They said about Flynn, and he said, "Oh, maybe he hasn't taken his opportunities." That's Moyes' opinion. I think Flynn hasn't. When he's played for me, hasn't been spectacular. And unfortunately, he's had limited game time. A bit like when Ben Rama had limited game time, and people wanted him to be this fantastic, mercurial, attacking, winger. He would over try, and he'd frustrate us because he was trying too much. And now when he doesn't try and when he gets picked, we still don't understand it. But it's down if you do and down if you don't. If you buy that player on the picture, he won't work in the Moyes systems as Keita. Very good. Scott for 25. Tim can do better with that money. I liked him. And the other guy Arsenal had, Torriello, who is at Lucas is at Galatasaray, I believe. Heard Zakari may be close, any legs to that. We'll talk about Zakari at the end. Isn't Condoza still a hothead? Slight hothead, but in the same way that most French midfielders are a little bit. Is Antonio staying? Really hope so. Wait out, and I'll talk to you about that at 3:00 today. Herb Bright might look at Zakaria if their midfielder leaves. Condoza is out of his depth. That's why that Arsenal allowed him to go. They did, and he came, and he's gone away, and he's improved. He's not the player that left. Roll the dice and go for young with potential. Moyes has to learn to give people a chance. He's not the oracle. He's stifling the team, and the owners are allowing it. We're just so slow. Come on. Needs to go is a bad influence. The FLP trophy is West Ham bound for last season, thanks to my boy from DTT. Very good. We're like a snail when it comes to transfers. There we go. We are doomed. We're doomed. We keep the dino. We're doomed. Don't panic, Mr. Mannering. Don't panic. Right, let's go with the next one, like Donkey Kong. Let's talk about Scott McTominay. Apparently, according to the Sun, West Ham have a good chance, a very good chance of signing Scott McTominay in the summer transfer window. Apparently, Man United are desperate to sell him, he's on the radar for the Hammers. It was the Sun who reported last week that we're interested in him. He's understood to be underrated and undervalued, according to several pundits. The report claimed that Moyes is a big fan of McTominay and is looking at his Scottish compatriot to replace Declan Rice. If they're desperate to offload him, they might demand a lot less for him. He's 26, and this was confirmed by Jacob Steinberg as well, who also confirmed that Moyes is interested in the Scottish midfielder. Started his career as a forward, so he does know the back of the net. Russie B has given this a 6 out of 10 because I think it comes down to money. I could see this happening. You could see maybe, and again, you can put 2 and 2 together and say the reason he was kiboshing Alex Scott because he really wants Scott McTominay because he's Scottish, and so we can go back and forth with all of these. What we got here, Flynn was played out of position a couple of times. We know Moyes only wants players that can play multiple positions, and I thought he did a good job playing in those positions, and that's why I thought Alex Scott might be a good shout because he can play in 2 or 3 positions. What about Skalmaka? He's back in training. He's back at training. 15 minutes ago in for Barnes. If we were in for Barnes, Gavin, if we're in Scotland, all of this is speculation. No one actually knows unless you are Davy Moyes and Tim Steindon and Nobes. No one actually knows. I always like Condose's energy and work rate. I like his fiery side. It's needed. I'd take McTominay, but not Maguire. The McTominay he plays for Scotland, yes, not the one he plays for Man United. I agree. Do you know what McTominay not good enough defensively? How much? I think it's about 25, 30 million, I think, for him, I believe. I'm still banking on Steinton to bring in some randoms with his little black book. And the flip side of that happy hammer is he'll bring in some randoms and people will say, oh, it's not big names. It's not big names. And because it's people still, and maybe they're not the ones for next year, but they'll be the next ones of 3-4 years' time. And that's the trouble. We need a balancing act between the two. Otherwise, we're going to be in shit creek without a paddle now. And we could be in the championship, but have a really good side, in 3 years' time. Makes no difference. If you don't learn, you stand still, you'll be the same as last season. But McTominay be a great addition to the squad. Just ask Gio, he rates him very highly. I think he's a very good player. Do you think Round will be joining us? Potentially. One of Moyes' companions. I'm the only one that's not worried, says Toby, probably. Barnes is valued about 50 million. Yeah, I mean, you probably get it for 40. But again, is it just playing devil's advocate at the moment? At the moment, is Barnes a priority? Is that left side a priority position for us at the moment? Probably not. In all honesty, what's the priority position? Midfield. Barnes, would be not nice to spend 40 million quid on him. He'd be a good player and he'd improve our attacking options. But at the moment, we've got a massive Declan Rice shaped hole in the middle, which we need sorted. What coaches are coming in? Maybe no one wants to work with Moyes. Is such negative tactics. Steve Round, apparently the assistant first team manager at Arsenal, is apparently very, very keen, or that they're keen to get him in. By that, Xavi Simons from PSV. There's so many good players in PSV. I want 142 for 7 now. Oh God. Still 2 weeks away from being worried. Yeah, I know, but I like to be ahead of the curve a little bit. A bit weird. Leaves Arsenal and they don't put him on gardening leave. Well, it's mutual consent, and it's the same as that usually assumes that you've got a job elsewhere. And so there's been some, that there may well be a discussion with the Declan Rice negotiations. I honestly feel those who are fixated with big names, I'm deluded. It's better to get players who want to come and play. Totally agree with Trini. By all accounts, Dennis Sakari wants to. We'll talk about Dennis in a minute. Let's talk about this guy. I'm sure you'll know him. He's a goalkeeper. Apparently, West Ham interested in signing the PAOK goalkeeper, Dominic Kotarski. Dominic Kotarski, that'll do. Kotarski. A deal that could be in excess of £8.5 million, according to Sports Time. The Croatian goalkeeper has been a starting goalkeeper for the Greek club since joining from Ajax in 2012, and he's kept 18 clean sheets in 41 appearances in all competitions last season for PAOK. And that form has reportedly alerted Premier League clubs to his quality. And West Ham apparently have expressed interest in signing the 23-year-old ahead of a potential summer transfer. Whatever. Don't know. I mean, the fact is, in terms of succession plan, you've got what's his face? You've got obviously Fabianski's got 1 year left in his deal. He had a 1+1, and they exercised the extra one. Come 24-25 season, Areola will be number one, and they might need someone to help him. I don't know if someone like, I don't genuinely think someone like a Nathan Trott's going to do it. He's been out on loan too many times. He's gone back out on loan to the same Danish side. They're probably ended up buying him. Joseph Nang. I think you've got people like Heggie, but maybe he's a couple of years down the line. He wants to go out on loan. So, I mean, it could be a shrewd bit of business. But whether it's a priority, whether £8.5 million can be better spent elsewhere, but it might be an opportunity to get him. I don't know. Russie B has given this one a 4 out of 10 just because I don't think he's a priority at the moment. But you never know. Stranger things have happened at sea. We'll talk about Dennis in a minute. Let's go through some more comments. We need a striker mate at a shopping season. West Ham are 12-1 to get relegated. I think we'll have a surprisingly good. Toby's like me, always glass half full. I heard Antonio like to Turkey. We'll talk about that this afternoon. At least we can get round. He can help us when we play Arsenal. We need Dybala or João Felix. Why do we need a goalkeeper when we have three? Well, one of them I don't think is ever going to get any game time. Hope the goalkeepers are true. That'll be 3 goalkeepers on the bench. Can't see anything wrong with bringing in new coaching stuff. So Alex did it every couple of years. We've been stagnant. And that's the thing. I was watching, I think it was Frankie on Wake Up West Ham on Twitter, was saying, yeah, good to get rid of Phelan. Good to get rid of, let's freshen it all up a little bit. And actually, you can look at it as a perspective. Phelan's been there for the last 3 years. And if we're going stale, freshen up. Every cloud. Jess wants something exciting to come out of the weekend. We'll get a new shirt. That's exciting. That'll be coming out on, I think it's coming out tomorrow, I believe. Going to win 3 cups, I think, Toby. EFL trophy and maybe the League Cup. Lovely. We've just signed Felix the Cat to help out the Master Kitchen. Keep Zuma entertained. We're going to win the lot. We need a new manager. Antonio will have lively teeth there. Yeah, lovely set of teeth. You go to Turkey. Makes sense. Getting a new keeper. Fabianski was awful last year. Has a fetish for goalkeepers. Every season we get goalkeepers and defenders. He earned the right. Moyes has earned the right to see out his contract. Okay, Topes. We shall see. Let's talk about Dennis Zakaria quickly, and then we'll talk about Pablo Dybala. By all accounts, he will welcome a move to London, and he's interested in striking. Obviously, we're interested in striking a loan deal with a purchase option included. There's discussions about the semantics, whether it's obligation to buy or option to buy. Realistically, if the option, I imagine the option to buy would be if he hits a number of games. If it's an obligation, it'd be the same thing. So we'll see. West Ham said to have want to sign him on loan and include £16 million purchase option. And obviously that move would allow us to bring in a second midfielder and look to strengthen that sort of midfield engine room. Apparently Steindl, he tried to sign him when he was at Leverkusen as well, when he was at Mönchengladbach, and he ended up going to Juventus on a free transfer. So Steindl likes him as well. That's why when the first rumblings of Zakaria came up, I was like, this one's I think likely because of just the Steindl connection. I mean, I gave him 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10? 8 out of 10. Because I think this one could happen. Right, what we've got up here. Still keen on Tom Budden. Is that my Tom Budden? Is that Tom Budden, like my brother? Still keen on Will Prowse. I'm not, bruv. I'm not now. I'm less and less getting keen on him now. don't think he'll offer what we need. As I said, I'd rather go Southampton and get one of the younger lads. I'd rather get, even if it's Livramento, and that includes your right back situation. But anyway, buy that guy Zakaria. I'm not saying if we're 20th in January, just carry on, but I think he's done the right stuff. I personally, I mean, in agreement with you, Toby, I think he deserves the right to start the season because he has won a trophy. But I have a theory. I have a theory on the Tim Steindon. You know, the fact is, his name came out of nowhere. We were linked with Paul Mitchell. We were linked with Tiago Pinto. We was linked with the Leeds former sporting director, and then Tim Steindon comes out of the blue as this, and I like those appointments usually because it means there's something's happened, in the background. It's not paper talk. It almost came out of nowhere. Remember being linked with someone who'd been like the St. Louisville technical director or something like that, and he'd been banned for something else, another match fixing. But anyway, if we're led to believe, it came out now. Obviously, the information we've been given, if again, pinch of salt for everything, is that Nobes went to Sully with Steindon as a recommendation. So actually, Noble, went with we needed here's who we should get as a technical director. It was my brother. He actually subscribed now, mate. Wow, fair play. They've been doing it for 3 years. Well done, bruv. So for me, it's I think Noble knows the way we need to go, and I think Steindon is come in and he's made that difference. Now for me, he's I think by all accounts he may have gone above clearly he's gone above Moyes in terms of suggesting Steindon, and I think it's all closing around Moyes a little bit, and we'll see what happens. Serious question: will people be happy if the only signing we made was a head coach? No, no, we need players. Who are Zakaria? Indeed, just sold my car to Dennis Zakara. Yeah, sort of works. Can't believe we're still trusting Moyes to get anyone in that's any good. If we lose 6 games on the bounce, Moyes will be gone. Yeah, I think even last year, if he lost 6 on the bounce, he'd be gone. Heard Tim against, even though he wanted him because his stats are massive down since then. Interesting, Andy. Who knows? We don't know, mate. We do not know. Why don't we buy any Asian players? We've been linked to a few from Japan. If Moyes was asked about Downs' lack of game time, one instance is because he was in competition with Rice, the best since off. No, he wasn't in competition, really. He's more in competition with Souček, in all honesty, wasn't he? You were never going to displace Rice and Paqueta. It was that Souček, that he was going to displace. So for me, it's like, I thought it's quite honest. Yeah, he's my bruv. Moyes is... Ball prowess is small and slow. Apart from great kicks, what does he do? Calvin Phillips is fit in midfield. 2 injury. Again, I say injury prone. He's had 2 bad injuries. Zuma's a lot more injury prone. Will we be ready? We'll be in the relegation after 10 games. We're in the relegation now. Only kicks a ball. Moyes out. West Ham in the bottom. Mr. Presenter, would you take Lingard? No. Move on. Everyone's talking to each other. Rice, you can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family. But I'm with you. No, it's JWP. Moyes with Rory and Alex Scott. I think the trouble with Alex Scott is God, Tom, you haven't been on. Tom's just messaged me. You haven't been on YouTube since lockdown. Oh my God, unbelievable, Jeff. Moyes with Bruno Scott. Alex Scott needs. They call him the Guernsey Grealish. He needs to be able to express himself, and I think sometimes Moyes might not be able to. But then again, as I said yesterday, Lingard, he had the full reign. So if Moyes really likes you, he'll give you that free roll as long as you run back. That's what he cares about. If we hash them, they will have to make a change. We had a big transition. There's big movement happening. Let's be honest. The appointment of Tim Steindon is a seismic change in West Ham, and I think there'll be, and you'll see more. You will see more change, regardless of what happens. If Moyes was going to stay, beyond this year, this season coming, they would have offered him a new deal surely after the ECL, surely, but they didn't. So I think they've got him on a short leash for that reason. But anyway, Lingard training in the States with Inter Miami with what's his face, with Messi. Well, maybe Tim can create Moyes Ball 2.0. Bit of love for Tommy B. Antonio doesn't respect anyone. What have I missed? You've missed it all. You've missed it all. Let's scroll down. I only watch one West Ham YouTube channel. Same reason I'm backing Moyes. I'm just about that loyalty. No, you can watch that. Toby, it's a good interview with Mark. It's a good interview. We've got some good ones coming up as well. Russ, you're looking at your watch waiting to be beamed up like Star Trek. I know. I keep getting messages from this man. Any news on the Bowen? It's in discussion. He's got, obviously, Bowen has 2 years left in his contract. We've been led to believe that they are in negotiations to get that deal. Bowen wants to stay, and so that's all you need to know. So they just got to thrash out the deal. Unlike the Souček discussions where Souček is on 60 grand a week, something like that, wants 100 grand a week. Western like, no way, mate. They are right. Okay, we're going to sit tight. That's why I'd sell Souček if we can, if an offer came in for him, if someone would buy him, and clear the books there. But with Bowen, as I said, I think we were saying with Holly yesterday, with Bowen, he's got like, the fact is, if he went anywhere else, could you imagine how interesting dinner will be? Christmas dinner around the Dyer household if Bowen signs for Tottenham or someone like that. So you're always going to get that. So I think we're okay there. But we'll wait and see. Moyes will only give you free rein if you are ex Manu sees how blinking he is. If we sat Moyes after the conference, every pundit would have come after us like we did with Gary O'Neill. We all think that recruitment department is shit. Perhaps this is the way forward. Keep trying to hold on to the little bits of positive we have. Oh, next in corner should be our manager. How Moyes could not keep hold of him. John, I don't know. Any chance of Gary O'Neill coming? Thing is, if you get Gary O'Neill, he wants to be a manager. So actually, you're probably going to get him for a year until someone comes in for him, until Bournemouth come back with their tail between their legs. Nervous will be 2 coaches down. The new signings for the whole preseason. First game is in 3 days, and seems to be no urgency considered. They don't know who they want to bring in. Well, I mean, there's no urgency because no one from any of the international players are back at preseason. So, there's no... it's going to be, it's really weird now because you've got people still on holiday and stuff. Souček, Cornet, Ings, and Antonio should be moved on. Well, I think Antonio will be moved on. Ings won't be. And I could see Souček maybe. Imagine how much Danny Dyer would hate that chance if Bowman's playing for Spurs. Any update on new kits? Tomorrow, apparently. Tomorrow. Wouldn't mind O'Neill coming as assistant season-long interview for the big job. But then what will happen, Toby, is he'll leave and then goes, why do our coaches leave? Because they're on short-term deals. It's hay fee. Honestly, the hay fee was really bad today. I felt it this morning when I got up. I was like, you feel, it's a big one. It's a big one today, hay fever-wise. Let's crack on like Donkey Kong. Let's talk about the main man. Let's talk about Paulo Dybala. So apparently, and here we go. This is when the summer transfer window started, my friends. It is started. We have been linked to a shock move to sign Dybala this summer. According to a report from the Italian outlet Il Messaggero, brilliant. Roma forward Dybala is on the radar of West Ham in the summer transfer window, but could face competition from Spurs and Man United for his signature. It reckons the Hammers want to sign the 2022 World Cup winner in the summer transfer window. It's claimed that he has a €12 million release clause for clubs outside of Italy, and that clause runs out at the end of July. There are a few things to dissect. Obviously, he was an elite level player, particularly in Palmeiras and Juventus, although his form has somewhat fallen off the cliff since then. Secondly, he's 29. He's 30 later this year. So again, makes him, in terms of a young, hungry squad at West Ham, that sort of kiboshes that. And also, he's on £138,000 a week at Roma. which he will undoubtedly demand more when he moves to the Premier League. If he moves to the Premier League, we balk at the fact that Danny Ings is on £120,000. This one ain't happening. No, I'm going to put 2 out of 10 just to be generous. But it's, the trouble is, with Roma, obviously they're keen on Skamaka. You could, you can see, but I'd rather want their centre back, Scholes, Pierre Scholes. I'd rather want him, but we'll see. Newer kit I heard pre-order from the 10th, but I've heard it's been released. Well, the marketing's been released tomorrow. What's the 10th? 10th is Monday, isn't it? Yeah, Monday. How is Dybala 29? So no chance. Forget about it. You're having a bubble. We are in a bubble, and that's why I put it in the. That's why I made the last one, because it's a ridiculous one. There's always. And speaking of ridiculous rumours, this weekend we've got 2 shows. We've got one coming up today. So one coming out tomorrow, which is the 15th. The 15 worst transfers West Ham have ever done, and it's hard to keep it down to 15. I'll be honest. When you start going back through the archives, and actually I do a notable honourable mention section, which is just as long in the actual video itself. And then on Sunday, we're going to talk about the ones that got away. The golden gooses, the shoulda, woulda, couldas at West Ham. We're resurrecting something we did called Retro Rumours. We're rerunning the first episode next week on Sunday. We'll be doing that more. So, the whole thing around Neymar when he was, at Santos, we could have got him for 18 million quid, stuff like that. The Dybala scam be João Felix, number 10, get in there. Yeah, whatever. Skamaka. What's his name? Skamaka plus cash of Dybala, 2 birds, 1 stone. Never going to happen. Dybala not happening, not a chance. Man United, no chance for Tommy B. Dybala, no way, too much baggage. Are you waiting until January to get some new players? Skulls. SCH, it's SCHURS. That's the one. I would like the centre back Roger Ibanez, good player. Also, we linked with the right back as well, weren't we? The American right back. There's a lot of players, but obviously, Torino. No, Skulls is in Torino, isn't he? I think it's Torino, so that's why we might get him with the Vlasic situation. We could all be in for a massive surprise regarding Moyes. He won the trophy he wanted, could change the system, play the game. No, whatever. Harvey Barnes to West Ham all over the news. Well, it's one of those things. I mean, we had what was his face? What was the name? No, it's gone. Can't remember. Darmesh, that was it. Darmesh. He gave a big sort of update yesterday about all the people we're after. And the Harvey Barnes thing, I just don't see it. But what we're led to believe he wasn't our priority. I think he said. What was his list? He put a list up. I've got it here somewhere. So he discussed their interest in Zakaria, Harvey Barnes, JWP, Alex Scott, Pierre Scholes, Jonathan Tah, who I really want, and Alaves. Actually, I want he's the guy from Union Berlin, Jokel, who's massive. So he basically said that Zakaria is in talks. Steindon wanted him. We were looking at JWP. We've tried to sign before. Alex Scott's been all over. We've had talks as well, and the Ajax midfielder Alves, apparently Dortmund bulked the price, so West Ham apparently Ajax are waiting for West Ham to put an offer in, and Darmesh went they will continue their attempts to try and sign Harvey Barnes, but I think West Ham are well aware of other clubs who could dare offer him Championship football. So there we go. So I'd like him. There's clearly. But then Jacob Steinberg said that we haven't finalised our summer transfer target, so we don't know what's going on. We don't know. You can't, Matt, you can't put Samassi Abu in. No, not Samassi Abu. Tom's in the chat. We love Dabu. You can't put Marco Boogers. He may well appear in the top 15. Robbie Keane. He may well get an honourable mention. Savio is up there. Maybe. Any update? I just did give an update. What do you think about Rice keeping 41? That's his number, isn't it? That's always been his number. Who's going to be left in the building to model the kit? You're looking at him. Oh, yes. That will shift a few. Here, Brady was the one doing the negotiation with the Gooners. Should she be buying the players? We will get them for nothing. Well, Sally was too busy on the yacht, weren't he? What about Becker, the striker? Yes, Salado, Becker from Union Berlin, 28 would be an upgrade to Antonio, I'd suggest. Well, not too sure. How do you scale negotiations? Is Harrison still available? He's down here, mate. Need more positive news. It's tough being a hammer. Let Rice whatever number he wants. Totally agree. Is it true that Marco Boogert owns a caravan park? Not technically. In other news, Karen Brady, it's Baroness Brady to you, Budden, used my work toilets last week. There we go. Apparently she left a floater. Jose Fonte surely must be for the lucky. He's not actually. He's not in the 15. He's not in the 15. Yes, so there you go. He's not in the 15. I'm sure you could probably guess most of them. The honourable mentions is funny. I did say honourable mentions too, and I read off about 40 names. It's been so poor, our transfer rumours. The new kit, is it Bubbles or Crossed Hammers Watermarks? Bubbles, apparently. So the ones you're seeing online are from that dodgy, was it that Chinese place, DK or DT Crest or whatever it is, and they saw a mock-up of an old one, which was another mock-up, but apparently it is Bubbles, like the centenary kit, the really horrible one with a massive collar. I'm getting Moyes on the back of my shirt. Good. Well, I ate Moyes. There we go. Rodriguez scored 15 goals for Leeds last season. He did. Well done. But I don't want him. I don't want Harrison either. I think we do better than that. I'm getting Moyes on my bog roll or your big roll. Sorry, late to the party. Ludders, who we signed? Everyone, Ludders. You've missed them. That's it. You've missed them. Never to repeat it again. Will we ever take that stupid London off the kit? Nope. Diamanti was a good player from Italy. He was a very good player from Italy, and we've had him on the channel, and he's a great man, and he's a lovely man. Speaking of Italian players, Ian from E13 Events is doing a great night, 15th of September, at the Brentwood Centre. Tickets from £25. An evening with Paolo Di Canio. When was the last time I sang that? Love it. PDC. PDC is coming to Essex. Hosted by TC. PDC hosted by TC. And RJB will be there. There's tickets from £25. If you go to the Brentwood, if you go to E13 Events, there's a direct link to the Brentwood Centre. And I think there's VIP meet and greets, which you have to book directly through E13. I think there's a few left, but myself and Anton will be there. I bought him a ticket with my own money for his birthday. That's just the type of man I am. Generous. Watching West Ham in Perth soon. Doubt we'll see any new signings. You won't see any new signings, Evil Essex. I pretty much guarantee that. But make sure you check out. I mean, you've got Will from We Are West Ham podcast. He's doing a live show out there. X and Dave are doing a couple of shows as well. I think one's with Colton, one's with Richie Garcia. We've had on the channel. Check that out. And Rice, and we've had Colton as well on the channel. Both hosted by Mad Dog. Again, we've had him on the channel. Check that out. So keep an eye on that. Do you really want to announce you ate Moyes? What? No, I was just saying it. I was just saying on the shirt. That's what I said. Diamantis looking forward. Hammer's going. He's still a hammer. He very much is. Very much doing his badges at the moment. I think we should have a star above the badges to chicken people. Yes. I'm going to get one. My new shirt, I'm going to get 1 star just etched on the top. I'm going to that event, right? Good, mate. Me and Anton will be there. You won't miss Anton. I'm like a little one. I just walk around. You can't. But Anton's like 7 foot, just like a mammoth. So you'll see that. Put a broom on the shirt. That will trigger people. Yeah, indeed. Can't believe Barnes is priced at 40 to 50. I think that's a going rate though, because it's an English to English side, isn't it? I might go and annoy you, Russ. Feel free. Narky, do you know what? I'm so sorry. I haven't posted it. I'm so sorry, but we're going to do the draw for the next one, and I'll post both of them. I promise you. I'm going to post it tomorrow. I'm so sorry. It's packed up and ready to go. I do apologise. Right, let's do that. Let's do that then. So anyone who's a channel member gets automatically entered into our monthly draws. Each month we do a draw for a signed bit of merch. Narky won it last month. And I haven't sent it out, but I've got it here. Signed West Ham shirt. Signed for the Europa Conference League winners. And if you want to be involved for next month, actually, to be honest, I'm going to do another couple of draws this month anyway. We've got a few signed footballs from the Europa Conference League winners. So if you hit the join button, I think it's £2.99 a month, and you support the channel that way, and you get extra content and stuff like that as well. The post service is ridiculous, Peter, but if you actually have to post it first, which I haven't done yet. So anyway, so we've got we've got the draw for what's the month? July to do. So let's just quickly do that. Where are we? There we. So we'll run that. So everyone, all our channel members are there. There we go, and we'll spin it. We do it legit. We do it legit live. We do it legit live. So we shall see. As I said, every month we do this. We did a couple. We can do another one in about a couple of weeks' time for the Sign Football. It's not pumped up, so it's easier. I had someone to Irish Tommy before; it was all pumped up. Right, Narky's not one this time. Not Joan, not Duke, not GP, not Stephen, not Cyril. Is it going to be Barry or Bedfordshire Hammer? It's slowing down. Let's go live. Let's go live, and it's live. Is he going to be Bedfordshire Hammer, or is Steve B. Mountford just good? It's Bedfordshire Hammer. Bedfordshire Hammer, congratulations. If you could send us your address to the West Ham Network at gmail.com, I will get that sent out to you in about 3 months' time. No, I'm joking. I'll get it sent out to you as soon as possible. I'm going to send that Narky's one tomorrow. Flo's got 12 hours worth of bloody Disney, musical theatre, so I've got a bit of spare time, so I'll get that done, I promise you. And that's it, my friends. Thank you very much for your time as always. If you're new and here, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share. Be like my brother and they've just subscribed to the channel despite me doing this for over 3 years, or support the channel and be a channel member. We've got Hammer's headlines coming out later today to Antonio and another couple of transfer rumours, which take us up to about 106 players we've been linked with. Also, tomorrow we'll have any breaking news, but we've got the 15 worst transfers of all time episode, and then on Sunday we've got retro rumors talking about Neymar, the players we should have been we were linked with, the likes of Neymar, Petr Cech. Petr Cech one's brilliant, and Didier Drogba, that's a brilliant one as well. Really funny one. And sort of said, this is who we should have got, this is who we were going for, and actually we got this person. Oh bless. And we've got some really good what's names coming up soon. Interviews with ex-players as well. Some really exciting ones. One I'm very much looking forward to doing. I just need to confirm the time with him. It won't be a live one, probably not, but looking forward to it. So yes. Anyway, guys, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, peeps. We hit 20,000 subscribers last week, which was lovely jubbly, mate. And until then, my friends, take care, stay safe, stay warm. Stay warm. He may well be in the top 15. He may well. Stay warm, stay humble. Keep the faith, my friends. Players come, coaches go, but the fans remain. Come on, you Irons. Bye-bye.